All right, welcome back, everybody, to Aligning with Success. I'm your host, Mike DiMuccio, and your co-host, I should say, with Dave Rolfe, Royal Diamond Nikan Wellness Consultants since forever ago. Dave, what year would you go Royal Diamond? Do you remember?
1998.
98. Okay, so right after me then. So I
Yes.
was in 97. Cool. So
Yeah.
that gives you an idea, by the way. So imagine reaching the height of success in a business, in an industry, in 1997, 1998, and here we are in 2025, and still with the same company, enjoying the benefits of that labor that we employed decades ago. So that really says it all about what's here, what's available here is the strength and longevity of Nikken. And I think a lot of that was captured, by the way, in the last two events. I wanted to get feedback before we pick up from where we left off. We had two major events this past week. We had the CEO Connection with our CEO Luis Kasuga, and we had the Empowered Living event on Saturday, back to back. So I wanted to get maybe some feedback from all of you as to what did you extract from that? What was a nugget from either the CEO Connection, the talk that Luis gave, or from the Empowered Living, which was really I really like the approach that they took with the Empowered Living, which was to show people that you could actually come from another world, from another life, and create an econ business, that the skills that you developed in that other life are transferable. I thought that was a really, really great approach that helped people, um, and the credibility of the speakers. I think if you would have had a guest on Saturday, they would have been most impressed with what was being offered, what was available. So, and I actually had a guest. Shame on me, I haven't followed up yet. I have to contact but I'm pretty sure they were impressed. Anyway, so what did you gather from either the CEO Connection, the call with Luis? Let's just get a few quick points of what was really important to you, and or the Empowered Living event. Anyone?
I'll
Come on, we
start.
want highlights. Yes, go ahead, Madeline.
Okay, that it doesn't matter what you do, it takes practice. You need to have a plan. You have to understand the theoretical framework. So it's really, they all said it a little bit differently in their professional domain that they were coming from, and that you get better over time.
Yeah, these are my. Let me pack my notes here. Yeah, I think it was. Um, I mean, everybody came into this for the first time in this industry, all the speakers, and very professional backgrounds, from accounting to, I guess Kim, not sure what her professional background is. I guess house wife now,
Mother of eight. That's
now a mother of eight. That's a pretty big career. And then on top of that, a do-it-yourself influencer. So
DIY. Yeah, she's a
pretty cool.
DIY. Yeah.
And Mary, Mary's in the medical background, so like yourself, Madeline. So just really an interesting, diverse crowd of people. Yet they're all here. They're all in Deakin. Why?
Mary is a university professor.
Oh, excuse me. That's right, university professor. And again, just very, very diverse backgrounds. I loved her talk. She was talking about active listening. That was what I think was one of the features of her talk. Anybody else? Either the CEO Connection. I'd like to hear any notes that you took from that, and or the Empowered Living event. This last two events that we took place in the last this weekend. Anyone? Going once? Yes, Marissa. Just unmute and just chime
Oh,
in.
okay, sorry. So what I got from Friday is when Luis has said where focus goes, energy flows. And that makes sense because wherever you put your focus on, then you do get the outcome that you want, and it just keeps on consistently.
Which, by the way, also works in the doom and gloom department. If your
Yeah.
focus is on doom and gloom, you're going to attract that as well. Yeah, Maureen?
Just when Luis broke the compensation plan into three sections was the first time I'd heard it done that way. The idea that the first three are learning levels, the next three are development levels, and the final two are leadership levels. And that was an interesting way of suddenly reframing things. And also, I think from the empowered living, Kim's idea of having her products in the background, but not talking about them unless they were being brought in to emphasize a point, like the air unit cleaning up after, the area. It was an interesting way there where she didn't focus on it, but it was there if people wanted to get information.
So she was showcasing the products indirectly by having them visibly on her video, and then integrating that into the conversation as to how it benefits her given what it is that she's doing. And I think all of us could do that. There's not a single person on this call right now that couldn't tell your story or tell people why you have that air unit in your room right now, or you're sleeping on an Ecan sleep system, or you're drinking the Mag water. I mean, and I want to get to that later in terms of how we can get some more people learning about Ecan. Dave.
As I was this past week, I was on a journey in in the southwestern United States, and visited three national parks: Zion, Bryce, and the Grand Canyon, en route to Sedona, Arizona, for a fundraising event. And the group that was at the fundraising event, obviously a common group, but on Saturday afternoon, we had a business seminar. And at this seminar were some very top, very successful CEOs of major business enterprises operating in the United States, around the world. And in listening to what you were saying about, what Luis is saying and what we've been talking about for um, a number of sessions, mainly since we've been doing this together, about what's needed and wanted in the environment. One of the main issues that came up was recruitment of people to work in these particular companies. Now, for example, one of the companies it's the largest box manufacturing company in the United States, and she was the executive vice president, still is, and they service McDonald's and IBM and Amazon and all of that sort of stuff. And and again, they had constantly hiring and recruiting people. There was a headhunter there, and he was talking about his position. But anyway, the challenge that everybody is having is the people that are coming in really don't know what they want, and but that sometimes they want more than what they're willing to do. So what's really happened in society is the baby boomers get blamed for this because we overindulged our children. And so we've created this situation where people don't want to do anything, but they want the sun, moon, and stars in exchange for the results that they're getting. But the advice was that people come into something based on the culture and the purpose, but it then quickly relates to and ends up being the money. It becomes the most important aspect of the relationship. What do I got to do? What do I get for what I do? The HR aspect of it. And it was really, now, I at the end complained, and I said, well, this is all about employees. Next time, let's talk about independent contractors, because I want to know what to do there. But it's really the same thing, because what we're really focused on as a group, we have a culture. And our culture represents what we represent and how we represent it. And this goes back to the concept that we talked about a few weeks ago on the policy that we utilize, or the reason why we're doing what we're doing, then is the attractive aspect for recruitment. So we attract, again, like attracts like, there's so many different ways this has been promoted in society. Books, movies, etc. have talked about this, but again, it boils down to, you find a group that you like to belong to, and you belong to that group because you like what that group does and what they stand for. But then at the same time, in evaluating the statistics of the group or the enterprise, the key factor is does it provide the exchange, and the exchange being, the what one gets for being involved, that allows that person to remain participating in that group,
Mhm.
becomes the focus. So it's kind of really interesting how you bringing up about the things that went on and the professionals on there, and I just wanted to let everybody know that our situation, our challenges are no different than anybody else's challenges in society right now in relating and finding good people. The key then became how you then create that and provide that for other people. And what some of these guys were doing was absolutely fascinating, and how they've, created their policy, which is their know-how, their workable ways, their methods that are very successful, that they can then make sure that they're doing. Now, one of the head guy that was doing it has a business that certifies companies' cultures. So in other words, it certifies the company as being a place that people want to work at, and not you have to have 100% in order to get your certification. So they're trying, because again, what happens that when here's an example. You go out and you prospect somebody and you talk to them and you say, "Yeah, I'm with Nikon and this is what we're doing." Well, the first thing they're going to do is Google search Nikon. And when they do that, because that's the way society works, they're going to come up with all kinds of situations and circumstances that may not be positive or may not be what you want them to hear. Well, what this company does is it then creates the positive aspects by putting the true positive examples of being involved with that particular company in the forefront. And so when people start to search, then they actually get the real people. They get the real circumstance. And this is something that hopefully we can look at down the road as a business, to create that, so that when you're out there and promoting your business and you say Nikon, they search and then they get, just hundreds of positive testimonies of what Nikon represents for everybody else, kind of a concept. So it was really interesting, but in relationship to what you're talking about, Michael, and what we've been talking about over the course of the past few weeks, the key is you. And I'm saying you, each of you as an individual, your story, your enthusiasm, your direction and positiveness as to what you're doing and where you're going, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking to follow success, is the bottom line.
And
So they're
success leaves clues, as we mentioned
yeah.
last week.
Exactly, Michael. And so from the standpoint of what you texted me a couple of days ago and asked about it, talking about a particular thing, and the engagement that we would really like, and I think that we want to try and pass on here in these events, is to engage. Is in other words, we want to play the game. We want to win the Super Bowl. We don't want to be last place or second place. We want to win the Super Bowl. So let's play to win the Super Bowls. But we have to learn that culture and how we act as that culture as a group, because then that becomes the policy. So it was a very interesting aspect of what I gleaned this weekend, besides being a lot of fun.
Just to pick up
Cool.
on the human side, Luis, he's so low keyed, but he gives a good punch. And he hope, happiness, and joy, to thrive, to hope, feel hope, happiness, and joy, and to thrive. And then he broke that down to product and successful business. And as Maureen stated, he really categorized the compensation plan and tied it into the terms of wellness seeker, wellness enthusiast, and wellness entrepreneur, and that there is a real need to have that third category grow, the wellness entrepreneurs, in order to reach the goal. So he's pretty low key, but he made that point. And talking,
I like where this is going, and I think I want to emphasize something that Dave, you were just talking about, and that is culture, purpose, and but ultimately it's the exchange of value. It's whether they can afford to be involved in NECAN as a business. But the first thing that they land on is culture and a sense of purpose. So what's important about that and how you can contribute to that is when we do these calls or any of the calls that you participate in, don't be the last to volunteer. Don't be the last to volunteer. Be the first to volunteer your message, your story, whatever's being asked of you, be the first. If you're the last and you represent the leadership of NECAN and you're the last, and that's the culture that we are showing, is that the leaders are last. Do you see what I'm saying? You want to represent excitement, enthusiasm, all the reasons why you show up every Monday night. Why do you bother? Because you're passionate about this, but somebody joining that experience won't be able to see that in a two-dimensional screen when you're one of 20 pictures on the screen. They need to see it in the way you express and your willingness to share. I think that's really, really part of how we establish the culture of NECAN being something that people want to be involved with, you yourselves. The purpose comes through when they hear what you're talking about, what we're talking about. And then, of course, there's the money part, which is what we spend a lot of this call on, is the coaching to help develop your skills and your awareness of what you should be thinking about that generates income. We're going to get to that a little bit later in the call with some particular strategy that we'd like to introduce as part of or reintroduce as part of the culture of NECAN, because it's such an important and foundational way of actually growing the business. And I think will help overcome some of the hurdles of attracting people into this or any business. So yeah, the other thing you can do is start talking on your social media. And if you don't have one, get one and stop making excuses for your age, your inability to operate a computer, or any other crap that you tell yourself. Get on with it, because if you're going to represent this in your own way as a business, you've got to represent it in the way people are learning. They're learning online. They're learning through social media. And one of the things that came up, and I can't remember. Oh, it was on the call on Saturday's call. How it was a Kim who was talking about how many people spend hours watching somebody, or at least 3 or 5 or 10, whatever minutes it is. And I'm guilty of that. When a project gets started on, if I'm scrolling and I see somebody starting something, like they're working with their hands and they got a drill or whatever, and they're starting to pull and they piece this thing together, I can't help but watch what's going to come of that piece. I swear I'm a sucker for that. I love to watch the creation of something. It doesn't even matter what it is. Most of the time, it's nothing I would ever use, but it's fascinating to watch. So people love stories. They absolutely love stories. And your story, talking about your life, talking about your story, talking about your experience, any experience, it could be whatever happened this weekend, letting people in on it. You might think, oh, what does anybody want to know about me? It's just the nature of people and the people who are plugged into you. They're going to listen to your story. And then you can weave your NECAN story, you can weave your purpose, you can weave a product every now and then. And so they start to understand who you are in this world. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with using hashtags in your posts. When you hashtag NECAN, let's say you decide you're telling them about the air purifier or something, and it's a positive story, right? Right now, my knees are busted up. I did a thing, and that thing has cost me a knee thing, and now I got my NECAN wraps and I got my magnets, and I mean, I'm hobbling around the house right now, but without these products, I'd be a dead duck. I wouldn't be able to move anywhere. So I'm guilty of this myself. I should be telling that story. I should be telling that story online. And hashtag NECAN, because then what happens is when anybody searches NECAN, when we're talking with somebody, as Dave said, what's going to come up? It's the threads that come up is where the popularity is, and if it's overwhelmingly positive, and most of the things that pop up are people's positive stories, what are they getting out of NECAN? When they start searching NECAN, they get, wow, people really like this thing. And so that's worth everything. It's worth everything. Paula, sorry for holding up the traffic, but go ahead.
No, that's okay. What I picked up from Friday was when Luis said, what's most important to us is people and their well-being, nature-inspired solutions, and providing a home-based business opportunity. And I like the fact that he kept it to like everything he talked about was like three short points, and you can remember that. And I think that that's something like when I talk to people about Nikan, a lot of people want to know what does Nikan do that's different? And I tell them we have a culture and we have this thing called humans being more and it's personal development. And I said no other company has it. And that kind of gets the conversation started. People start saying, well, what's that all about?
Yeah, it speaks to purpose,
Yeah,
a,
yeah,
a bigger purpose.
yeah.
And I think again, culture, purpose, those are the reasons why people will join us. But why they will stay with us is because there's an exchange. And it's not always financial, by the way. Sometimes the exchange is emotional. There's a lot of times that people join a group of people and stick around because they just love being around the people. And there's a lot of satisfaction. And especially if the group is like this group, um, constantly sharing your insights, your wisdom, your knowledge, people pick up on that. And that's fuel. I mean, there's so much information circulating right now. You tend to gravitate to the things that inspire you. So if people are inspired by our conversations, then they stick around. Michelle.
Thank you. Oh, where did I go? Oh, thank you. Sorry. It's been a crazy day, crazy day. First of all, I think it was Dave that was mentioning what people want. People don't know what they want. They don't understand what they want. And Mike, I love on the Thursday night call when you ask someone, how much income are you making? Or first you ask, how much do they want? And they'll have an unrealistic amount. And then you ask for them, okay, let's put this into perspective. How much are you making now? How long did it take you to make that? How long is it going to take you to make this that you're asking for? And you put it into reality so that people can understand and see that the possibility. Because people will just throw out numbers that they want in money, for example, or a big house or whatever it is that they want. And that's a dream, that's a wish. Is it a real desire? Is there intention behind that dream and wish? Without the intention, it's going nowhere. And people tend to spin their tires when they're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's great.
So I did a post when I was transplanting tomatoes this weekend, and I brought in the back flex because I forgot to put it on and my back was getting sore. So I grabbed it and put it on and I showed the back flex for a sore back. So yes, can be integrated everywhere, anywhere, anytime.
That's okay. What if I love that, Michelle. What if the culture of this group was that we showed people how Nikan products factor into our everyday life? I mean, are you not using the products every day? Is there not some aspect of the Nikan products that are and that you appreciate? That you actually appreciate, like this morning or whatever you said, oh, I love my shake or whatever. Like, was there a moment that was an authentic moment where you really appreciated your Nikan experience? Share it. My daughter, Sophia, most of you know, probably most of you follow. She's an absolute genius. And all she is doing is sharing her authentic self and all her experiences and what she's gaining from those experiences with her audience. And it's a learning moment for everybody. And that's why they love her and keep coming back. And she's building a following, a large following, just by being herself, just by capturing moments of inspiration she's having and saying, I want to share this with you. I just had this thing happen or whatever. And because they're genuine, because they're authentic, real, and sometimes, to the point where as a father, I'm a little bit, cringed by it, but I accept that she's a young woman.
For you, yes.
but But the fact that it's so transparent and honest, who can fault that? It's the real thing. And I think people can see through the fluff and they're really searching for the stuff. And if we're painting a culture that this is a group of people who say what they mean what they say, feel that they are connected and empowered with a strong sense of purpose and fulfillment, and have a business vehicle that rewards them financially to any degree that they choose. I mean, what else does anybody want if they're really wanting anything at all? Wes.
Who, me? Finally.
Yes, you.
So Saturday, I was at a Earth Day event. I had a table there, and what I was doing was showing people Earth energies. And I could take them from the concrete onto the grass, back to the concrete, show them the difference in their strength, and talking about it was Earth energy. And then I'd hand them a banana, and they'd be stronger. And so we could talk about energy more. And then I talked about, all you got to do is walk around with a banana all day. Or you could wear a sport band. Okay. And so anyway, then I showed them the sport band held them strong even against what a cell phone does. But for talking points, when I want to talk about the company, because I always go from, you know, the company, our intentions, the organization of people who are driving this change in healthcare, and that we have all these areas of the wellness home covered. But then I wanted to talk about how people can join with the company, and I picked up on Luis' talking points that he started off his talk with on Friday, and I made I don't know if you can see this thing, but I
Yeah.
started up with a picture from the web page, and then let's see,
Hey, hold that up. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pin you on the screen so everybody can see you close. There we go.
it moved on me. I was trying to watch
Wellness
it.
seekers, experience the products, wellness enthusiasts, desire to share, wellness builders or entrepreneurs. What is it? Build a wellness team.
Right. And then
Nice.
then I used some people were walking up with their cell phones and clicking on that and going to my web page, my personal web page. And so, and when they landed on the personal web page, what did they see? Just what was at the top of the picture. So they knew they were in the right place. And so, it really helped with the conversation. I
I
really
love this.
liked what Luis did because what he did was he separated out consultants from business builders. And he hadn't really done that before. You and I have talked about it, Michael, but I didn't really see it coming from Luis, and he nailed it. And so I just grabbed it and I put it on this sheet, and it became a talking point, and it was very effective.
Fantastic. Guys, did you just get a great $1 million idea just now? Isn't that fabulous? Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Wes. Bela.
Sorry, it takes me time to unmute. I've been wanting to say something on Facebook too, to post my experience, but I'm really scared because Facebook kicks you off if you try and it seems like you're soliciting. So I went on your page the other day to see what kind of things you post about me.
I'm a little radical, by the way, sometimes. You should see the
Yeah.
post that I posted and took down today within 5 seconds. I was
But
so angry at this. They were spraying the skies overhead, and I was like, I had
Oh.
just finished voting, and I took a rant and said, "Hey, I didn't vote for this crap that they're spraying in my lungs every day."
Yeah,
So-
really.
so-
So
anyway, sorry.
I would love to have some guidelines as to what we can post because I haven't gotten through all the courses yet on the website. And I'm a little leery because, I think I'm a walking, talking miracle after Niken came into my life.
So,
First
so
with
what
the-
you're talking about is being compliant. What Luis was
Yes.
talking about. Okay, you know what? There was an excellent video that Ben, Kim's wife or Kim's husband, put together for us. I will find it. I know it's in our toolbox. It's in one of the Royal Alliance videos in the library, where
Okay.
he did a talk on how you can communicate the message powerfully, effectively, without tripping on those compliance issues. Like
Okay.
without mentioning a disease or all those things that we're not supposed to do, but you can be very, very effective. And you'll note he uses many examples of how when you see TV commercials and so forth, they're doing exactly that.
I know. This is what bugs me. I was just at the eye doctor's. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because you're recording it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I was just at the eye doctor's, and for the first time since I was 14 years old, my numbers came down. And he said, "Your eye health is amazing." And I said, "Well, everything in my life has changed since Niken came into my life." So he asked me about it. So I told him all about it. Now he's a friend of my son, so I'm hoping he's going to call my son and say, "Hey, I
Are
want to talk
you,
to your
do
mom."
you happen to be taking the collagen, the pink collagen?
No, not yet.
Okay, because
I,
I
I have
started
a
on it.
whole I have a whole supply of another collagen that's supposed marine collagen, and so I want to finish that
You're going
before
to want
I.
that. So here's what
Yeah.
happened with me. I did same thing. Same. I have new subscription. First time since grade 13.
Well, me since
Grade
14
13.
years old.
So like I was like, yeah,
New
okay.
prescription.
So first time they've ever changed my eye subscription 6 months after I started the pink collagen.
My
And I
optometrist
went
said
in for the eye
eyeball.
test and they said, "Oh, your glasses are way too strong." I
I've,
mean, what do you,
but Mike, all I've done is the sleep system. I'm
yeah.
wearing the magnetic necklace all the time now that I can open and close it because I couldn't, my hands wouldn't do that. Now I can do it. So I'm wearing that. And
Boy,
the
it
beginning,
almost sounds like we're making the claim that we could reverse aging or something. Of course we can't, but it almost
seriously.
sounds like it.
Well, so listen to this. And people, you should hear it because I'm just amazed. So I got the waterfall with the promotion at the end of March, and I set it up on April the 6th. And I can't tell you, I'm not even sure what the gut health is going to do for me, what the gut health what's happened with the waterfall, okay? Because of one of the side effects of one of the medications I'm on. So not only that, I no longer have to use artificial tears. My eyes are not stuck closed in the night. And when I get up, it's so painful because they're hydrated. Then not only that, I had a lot of trouble in the night with a dry throat. Gone. I don't have to drink any extra water in the middle of the night. I'm hardly getting up to go to the bathroom. And if I do, I fall back asleep, and that's the sleep system. Then my feet, because I put them on the grounding mat, I can now, for the first time in 5 years, stand without my slippers on the bare floor. I can walk a few steps without it killing me. So today, something happened to my left foot. And before I left for the optometrist, I thought, what the hell is going on? How am I going to walk? I put my shoes on with the magnetic insoles in. Pain is gone. 2 hours later, I don't even know that it was there. So I want to be able to share these things on Facebook, but I'm
You
scared
can
because
just don't use the word pain. The discomfort that I was suffering from magically disappeared. And
okay,
those are words that are permissible. There's just some words that they've cornered the market on. Pain would be one of
okay.
them.
This isn't what I
And
need to learn.
yeah, yeah. So this I'm going to post it on the group chat so you guys
Okay.
can review it and watch and just learn how we can express these ideas. And I'll tell you, it's much more interesting when you express what life was like before and what life is like now,
Right,
since right? Because you
right.
don't. That's what people want to know. What's changed?
Yeah.
And
So,
you like said, I was able to walk for the first time on these
yeah,
stairs or these and so forth.
on the bare floor. Yeah. I couldn't put my
Yeah.
feet down.
You know,
So
like you're like it's been I went and got my prescription changed because after third whatever, the only thing that's changed is that.
is
So
is
that's
Niken. For
yeah.
me, that's what it
And
is.
by the
My
way,
prescription
and by
changed.
saying is knee can and not even specifying a product, you're further making it clear that it's the whole experience.
Okay.
So
So you
okay,
can
so
say that.
Michelle just pointed out there's a We Academy compliance. So in your back office in the We Academy section, there's a compliance. Is it a training or is it the video? I can't remember
Yeah,
now.
Yes,
I already
yes.
did that.
Okay, okay. But we'll
Yeah.
definitely get this
But
video because I
Facebook is
think,
a different, social media is a different animal.
yeah. But if you're telling your story authentically,
Mhm.
again, and just say, guys, how I would start the story is I feel so compelled to share something with you because I can't believe it myself. And you draw people right in
Yeah.
because they know you. The people who are
Yeah.
watching this know you. And
And
by the way, when you
yesterday I saw
hashtag,
her. Mhm.
sorry, give me one sec. When you hashtag a video, when you put hashtag Niken or
Right.
hashtag well-being or hashtag sleep,
I don't know what
then
that.
well, what that does, so if you're typing your message, hey guys, I've got to tell you something, and then you post your video. But in the hey guys, you got to do a hashtag and start typing. If you type sleep, you'll see something pop up and says 12 million. That means that's how many things have been posted with the mentions with the hashtag sleep. So you're
Oh,
now exposing other people who are not part of your circle to your message who may have had some correlation to sleep. So when you hashtag a message, that's why you'll see Nikan when you see any of Nikan's posts, you see all the hashtags. What they're doing is they're saying they're poking these people who've somehow had some kind of a message out there with that hashtag. So it helps expand your reach outside of your own audience. That's what hashtags do.
okay, okay.
Okay, we got
Well,
Sherrill still. One more thing, Bella, go ahead.
well, yesterday I saw a lady who had surgery in my building, so I went to see her, and I walked in. She said, "How's your business doing?" I said, "Well, I mean, so far it's just me and my family I'm buying things for. I haven't gotten anybody. I've had one or two people buy." And anyways, she said, "Well, I just want to tell you, you are positively glowing since you started feeling better."
Okay, so wait, let me ask you something. How could you have approached that differently? The first thing you said was, well, how could you have approached that differently?
I don't know. I'm not
How
good
about
at
just
this.
being very like you're talking, you're glowing, you're buzzing, you're like when you're talking about your experience and you start the conversation with, well, that's not who I'm hearing right now. I'm hearing like, wait till I tell you what's been going on.
No, but she meant my business. My business hasn't done anything.
You are the billboard for your business. And if the billboard is saying things aren't looking up or they're not going well, that's not going to do much help for your business. So every entrepreneur has gone through every cycle in business. And the first thing that you got to go through is the challenges of getting your feet wet, getting your footing, getting your going from crawling to walking to running. That's how it is in life, right? That's how it is in
Yeah,
business. So don't fault yourself for that. That's just part of the process. Talk about where you're going.
yeah.
Where are
That's
you
why I loved
going?
Empowered Living on Saturday. I watched it last night, and the thing that they said about the first lady, I think I forgot her name. Mary, was it Mary?
Mary.
The professor, and she
Yeah.
said when she had to speak in front of people, you know, she said it took practice, and she just always told herself that she had to do it because that's how it was going to help her students. And so
Okay.
that really stuck with me.
I'm going to pick up on that because that was one of the things I wanted to talk about in terms of our strategy before we ran out of time here. So, noticed today the Jeff Isom posted on our chats an invitation to join the group of people presenting Happy Life, Balanced Life, the Tuesday night presentation. And some of you on this call have done it, and you're fabulous. Tomorrow night, Michelle, are you on tomorrow? Who's on tomorrow? Madeline, you're on, I think.
Michelle will be a business story and with Sue Gruber and myself.
Okay. All right. So somebody started you guys somewhere. We need more people to
You
step
started
up.
Michelle and I 7 years ago.
Okay, there you
So not a
go.
lot of practice.
But it started somewhere. There's always a beginning. And so I want to encourage you to volunteer. And yes, you're going to be outside your comfort zone, but just think about what it's going to be like when you're through that door. When you're on the other side of that door and now you've got one under your belt, you're going to say to yourself, oh, I was terrible. I was this, I was that. And everybody's going to say, get out of town. You were awesome. You were amazing. And then you're going to walk away from that and realize, it wasn't so bad. And then you'll watch the playback and you say, I should probably share this with some of my friends. I'm doing something important here. That's what you need to do because that's going to help you grow your business because it's going to help you grow you personally as a presenter, as a person who represents this story. So volunteer. Send a message to Jeff and say, I'd like to volunteer. He'll help you get started on that journey where you'll be presenting the story. You've seen the story a million times. You know the presentation's the same every time. We'll line you up with somebody else so you do a part, not necessarily the whole thing, but that's what you need to do to get to the next level. You got to grow
Joe
in
and
order
I
for
can
your
each
business to
co-host with
grow.
somebody. We both have
Yeah,
it downloaded and we can
perfect. So
practice
just
that.
volunteer, even say to Jeff, hey, I want to volunteer to be a presenter, provided you put me up with somebody. I co-host with somebody. Just do that because he'll make that happen. And I think it's really important that you become proficient at your business. It's a skill set that you become comfortable being able to talk about NECAN. You're just following a script. It's the PowerPoint. You've seen it, you've heard it a million times. Do what I did. My very first NECAN presentation, it was just me listening to an audio. There wasn't even a PowerPoint or presentation of any kind. Just me listening to somebody talk about NECAN. I'm taking notes. And then I did that presentation in front of 43 people live on the fly. Try that one on. Okay, Sherrill.
Hello, everybody there. Thank you very much. So I just want to speak to the sharing part. For a long time, I had a willingness not to share, just for whatever reason. I could go on about the reasons that I had a willingness not to share. However, um, as I grew, I I I I came to understand that nobody can tell my story like I can because it's from my experience and it's from me to whoever is listening or whoever I'm talking to. And once I understood that and that clicked in, it gave me a lot of power. It made me more aware of myself and the things that I can do versus the things that I may not be so good at right now. So I'm just working on sharing more. Like if there's a call to share like the happy life, balance life. I'm gonna see if I can if I can get on and be with somebody and pair with somebody, so I can do that, so I can continue to grow. I will say entrepreneurship, NECAN, this business and learning it, it definitely has helped me to grow. It definitely has helped me to continue to bud myself. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just continue to grow and into who I'm becoming. So the opportunities that I get to share, I'm taking them more because I'm more comfortable with understanding that no one can tell my story like I can. Like we are all unique. No one can tell our stories for us. It is better coming from the horse's mouth to say the least. But thank you for
If
that.
you if
Yes.
if that inspired you, what she just shared, just let's tell her. Let's let her know. Okay. Look at
That's
this.
funny,
Okay.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Right on. Thanks, Sherrill. Barbara.
Thanks, Mike. A couple of points. Bela, if you want to try doing some social posts and you're uncomfortable about it, try playing around with Chat GPT. Tell Chat GPT what it is you want to say, but mention in it, I want to be compliant.
That's a great
Because
idea.
Chat GPT is following compliance as well. And you can, they'll make you give them an idea, it'll make a suggestion, and then they'll ask you if you want to change that suggestion in any way. Do you want to make it shorter or longer, or is there something specific you want to emphasize? So give that a try, play around with it. And then
Okay.
when you like what you see in front of you, copy and paste it into Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and just get started.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Do
Thank
the
you.
stuff.
first one.
I'll tell you, this is really good feedback. I don't know anybody in my life now around me who is not asking AI a question, and they're not even Googling anymore. They're doing this AI grok or whatever the heck it is they're talking to. So, and Chat GPT seems to be the most popular, but for constructing sentences, I've watched it happen on the fly. It's incredible. Like I'm working with a guy building the website right now, and you're going to hear a little bit more about this. It's called Team Diamond Global. As Luis pointed out, the diamonds and royal diamonds, that's the leadership development part. So I'm reconstituting an organization called Team Diamond Global, and it'll be the Latin Americans and the North Americans together as diamonds and royal diamonds, forging a new mentorship type agenda for those who want to build an international business. Anyway,
May
and
I say something
ChatGPT
more,
is
Mike?
helping us script things. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. what Ben was talking about were weasel words. That was the presentation
Weasel
he
words, yeah.
did on compliance. And also really go through the We Academy, Bella. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of modules that you can go through. Very aware of it because it was 2 years in development.
Right.
But something I want to make a suggestion to you. When that lady asked you about how you were doing, don't be afraid to say to her, you know what? I'm in the learning phase, but I'm having so much fun and I'm having exciting experiences. She won't be able to deny your excitement.
Yeah. Well, she said if you're doing the products for yourself, you're positively glowing. And she
Well,
said,
that's when
I've
you
seen the
say to
change in
her,
you.
that's when you say to her, would you happen to know anybody that
Who'd
might
like
be
to
able to
glow?
benefit from what I'm doing?
Exactly. Okay, back to you, Wes, and then we'll wrap up here.
Sorry, Mike.
I wanted to respond to
Thank you.
Cheryl. I wanted to respond to Cheryl. Cheryl, there's 3 stages here. One is the wellness seekers, and you are definitely in that category. And you can tell people that I'm at the first stage. I'm a wellness seeker, and I want to experience the products. And when I really like the products, and I think I'm ready for the next step, which is a wellness enthusiast, where have a desire to share with other people. You know, when I had like I said, I had a table at the Earth Day event, and somebody was asking me about that, and I said, well, years ago, 20 years ago, I was a wellness seeker, and I found Niken, and I really started using the products, and I was so fascinated with it that I just turned into a wellness enthusiast, and had a desire to share with other people. And this table that I have is a wellness enthusiast table. I'm reaching out to help other people see what we're doing. But also, I'm helping other people become wellness enthusiasts with tables like this, and that really puts me into the entrepreneurial stage where I'm building wellness teams. And but so you know, but we're looking for people who want to put up tables like this, who want to talk to people and share the products. But it starts out with being a wellness enthusiast and experience the products.
Awesome. What a great transition to what I want to talk about. Thank you, Wes.
Mike,
Okay,
you have
so
another 30 seconds?
yes, go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay, this is a real quick elevator pitch from last Saturday, the Empowered Living, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed all the presenters. And so I grabbed my notes real quick, and this is what I came with. You'll probably recognize this particular person, but they started off by saying our income models have greatly changed since the pandemic. And then he said something about be passionate about what you're doing. Then he mentioned the three models that we have in business: retail model, the small business model, and the network marketing model. And then he ended by asking how many apples are in a seed. So I thank you, Mike, because you were excellent. And I love the presentation chart that you gave. I hope you can maybe share that with us later, but thanks for that. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. I'd be happy to. Um, in fact, there is a recording of a similar one that I did a few weeks or maybe months ago.
Oh, good.
Months,
I'll look for that.
yeah. Um, okay, so what I wanted to say was the idea of this culture, establishing a culture of reaching out and creating connections with people. We have a Wednesday night brand night. That's a really great opportunity to learn about Niken products, to plug consumers as well as consultants into that pipeline, because it's really the only pipeline that we have that provides a steady feed of content regarding how these products are utilized and can benefit people each as individual products and categories. It's the only library that we've assembled in all these years on the Niken products, and it's live every Wednesday night. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, it includes some testimonials, but most important, it's live. The most important aspect of it. And so I had proposed this idea a few months ago, and I even put a post in the chats where you could customize Wellness Wednesdays and you could put your address or whatever, your information. The concept is Wellness Wednesdays. What if, as part of who you are and how you're building your wellness business, your small business, is you open up a store. Your store is an in-home. Your store is your space, and you do a Wellness Wednesday, and that's inviting people every Wednesday to learn about something about Nikan. And that gives you contact, it gives you a venue, it establishes you as the person in the community who is providing this valuable service of information, helping people learn more about how they can get better informed about wellness. And you can use the event at 8 p.m. On your television. Just tie your computer to your TV, cast it on your TV, or connect your TV to your screen, and you can use that event. I've posted the PowerPoint presentation as a PDF, which includes the video, on the chats, so you could take the actual presentation that's delivered on a Tuesday night, upload it to your computer, and have that as elements of your presentation. But think about that for a second. What if you were hosting an in-home? It could be casual, it could be very informal, on a Wednesday night, Wellness Wednesdays, on a regular basis. Now, a couple of things happen. This is how Nikan built Nikan in the 90s and the early 2000s. That's how we did it. The lion's share of the business was being done as in-homes. Virtually everybody I helped go silver was in an in-home, always. So it was a series of in-homes to launch somebody, and that created excitement. It created um, movement, a volume, a momentum. So if you had a commitment to hosting something, whether you were doing it for one person and having a cup of tea, or you're doing it for with a handful of people, or it grows into something where maybe you have to look at a bigger space, that's a good problem to have. Then all of a sudden now, Wednesday night becomes bowling night, or Wednesday night becomes, you know what I'm saying? It's that night, that hockey night. It's that night that you really show up and provide a valuable service to the community. And then you're going to focus your attention on who you're inviting to that event and who they might be inviting. It becomes something that you do with regularity, and it's part of the culture of how you're building your business. And I'll tell you one thing, your business will grow. Hands down, 100%, your business will grow because now you've committed to a rhythm. And the rhythm is based on your hosting an event, which means you will then focus your attention on who you're inviting to that event. It all starts to create an attraction, and then you start to build momentum. And so if we look at Nikan right now, and we look at where the pockets of growth are happening, they're all happening around these small types of events, whether they're happening in someone's home or they're happening at a local coffee shop, but there's a regular event that's happening. And around those regular scheduled events are leaders that are emerging as diamonds or soon to be diamonds, but definitely silvers and golds are coming out of that. So if you want to go silver, if you want to go gold, if you want to help people go silver, go gold, there needs to be a rhythm. There needs to be something that brings people together with some regularity. And a weekly event is the key to that. I can't imagine how any church, for instance, would have survived had they not had, Sunday mass or something like that. So it's part of how we create culture. It's part of how we create a rhythm. It's part of how we gather people and share who we are. Maureen, and we'll close on that.
Talking about bringing things back, I don't know if how many people on this call do back rolls, but that's something that I've done again, not only to teach new consultants, but to anybody that's a customer. Automatically, I tell them I owe them a back roll, not gift them, but I owe them. It's part of my thank you, and I emphasize that it's relaxing, quiet, and they will enjoy it. And it's amazing the number of opportunities that gives to when somebody's now relaxed and sort of enjoying the water afterwards to do a demo. They might ask questions, but the point of it is that it's about them. I'm not expecting a sale. I'm not doing anything. This is a gift that I owe them, and I follow through.
Okay, that's I 100% agree. Um, that used to be a very big part of our culture. We don't have the roller available to people who are joining Nikan today, but what we do
Mike,
have
she's
is
not doing it with the roller. I
what are you
asked her
doing it
how
with?
she's doing her back rolls.
Mag Duo?
Let her tell you.
All right. Okay, because I was just gonna say we could do it with the Mag Duo. There you go. So that's important.
Mag duo chair and a cozy or any kind of travel quilt. So they straddle a chair with the seat. I roll their back. Then afterwards, I wrap them with the some kind of far infrared, and they get the water.
Amazing. And how do they feel?
Very good.
I'll tell you something. We're the feel good company. And if you leave somebody feeling good, they won't remember practically anything you said, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Maybe
And
we could
that's
ask,
what
maybe
they're
we
going
could
to
ask
associate
Eddie.
with Nikan.
Maybe we could ask Eddie. I met him yesterday at a fitness center and we've seen one another twice and talked on the phone and he had a rollout today. So he's been international and he's been in wellness all of his life. So he might
You know
want to
what? We've got 3 minutes before we wrap up. Eddie, you've been auditing this call. Most people don't know you were doing that, but why don't you share, if anything, you care to, how's this call affecting you or impacting you? What have you gained from this?
Basically, I'm listening to everything you're saying, and um, what attracted me the most is that I was in a gym. Actually, I was just entering the gym, and I was looking. They have a free library. You can pick a book, take it home. And I was there, and in the Madeline came there next to me. We start talking, and I don't know how we started talking about this Nikkei, but all of a sudden she took she said stretch your hand and I'll pull it down and let's see what is your strength, and then after that she put the band on my hand and I said wow. And that really attracted me. I've been in health, how to say, improvement many years. Long story there. It happened after my car accident, big car accident, and I wanted to get well. That was 1999. So, but then we start talking, and she showed me a couple of other things. And then on Sunday, that was on Sunday,
hours ago.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it was just on Sunday. Today's Monday. So I called her on Sundays later, and I went and visit. She had to go to movie or whatever, and we had like 40 minutes or half an hour, and she showed me, introduced me to a lot of things, and so I got more interested. So and then today I went back there at 2 o'clock, and then she ended up giving me she has this old roller. It's a green, and she actually gave me the back whatever ABC rub with that thing, and it's just unbelievable. It's how to say the personalization of experience of being part of something that may really be great on your body improvement was something great.
So yesterday he
So
Fantastic.
came with insoles and he slept with the insoles and overslept, had a good night's sleep, and he knows REM sleep and was I just couldn't believe it. Actually, I woke him up calling to check on him this morning and he couldn't believe what time it was with just taking the insoles to bed, putting one in one place and one under the pillow or
And
whatever.
all of that started because Madeline, you closed the gap between you and him at a library
Yes.
in the
right,
gym.
correct, in the gym,
And
yeah.
and that's it. That's the beauty of this. It's about not being shy, not being afraid. We are being of service. If you're being of service, then you're doing the right work. You're doing the God's work. Wes, let's wrap up. It's 9.
All right, quickly. I think people need to
Thank you, Eddie.
You're
realize
welcome.
we don't just need air and water and nutrition and sleep. We need earth energy because the body, we were planted on this earth a long time ago, and we didn't have concrete floors. And so our bodies need that. And just like I just bought a lawnmower that's battery driven, and I have to recharge that battery. Well, my body needs to be recharged too. And sport bands help, but really being in touch with the earth helps even more. But this is an important part of health. The body needs to be properly organized. It's got to have the electrons in there to move the messages from the brain to the feet. If we're lacking, we're not going to be healthy. So yes,
And we're one of the only energy wellness companies out there.
yes.
And so let me leave you with that thought, this thought, Wes, on top of yours, which is your body's an electrochemical system. It operates based on electrical signals that go from the brain through the nervous system to notify and activate all the things. And even the best nutrition in the world is not going to do its job if your electrical system is down. Think about a car. If you get into a car, brand new, beautiful, shiny, everything, gas tank is full, and you stick the key or you go to push the button and nothing happens, all that gas is going nowhere. Your car is going nowhere because the electrical system is shut down. Your electrical system has to be functioning for everything else to work. It's at the base of everything. It's like oxygen. If it don't work, you don't work. And so all the other stuff that we add on to it, the hydration, the water, the nutrition, and so forth, those are all the things that it's like putting high octane fuel in the engine instead of, crappy fuel and so forth. Those are all enhancements. But the electrical system is at the base of it all. And what's at the base of the electrical system is earth energy, which is our magnetic energy. And that is why Nikan started that way. And that's why we're coming back to that way. And that's what makes us very unique in the market.
Someday I'm going to tell you more about that.
Okay. Folks, thanks for being on the call. This is month end. This is our last call for the month. So as we always do a month end wrap up, hey, make the most of the month end. We've got 2 things going on. We've got price increase coming in May. Let everybody know there's a price increase coming in May. And we've got the special on the purifier, 20% off, which is going to be the cheapest it's going to be for a long, long time. So, we have all the reasons in the world to share with this good news about Nikan. But don't forget, we have a schedule of events. Tomorrow night is the business presentation or the overview. Wednesday is the brand night. And Thursday, if you've got some people that you'd like to introduce to the income option who have learned about Nikan in the first 2 presentations, then definitely invite them out. Just an FYI.
15% off for anybody that hasn't placed an order in the last 6 months.
Correct. Yeah, there's that special for people to welcome them back. Just an FYI, next Monday, I have an engagement dinner to go to, my nephew's engagement dinner. So I won't be hosting. Dave will be hosting next Monday. So everyone, have a great month end. Thanks for joining. Thanks for contributing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Good night, all.
Thursday is the
Mike.
first of the month, you guys. Kickoff call on
Thank
Thursday.
you,